Hello, hello. Okay, right. How's it going, everyone? Hope you're doing well. Let me just get the... Oh, I have the logo in the wrong position. Okay. Hey, everyone. Hope you're having a good week. First stream of the summer, we're calling this, because the last one was a bit of a Q&A and stuff like that. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the game of G2 versus BLG. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to look at all of these. I've watched these games, but I watched them I watched them as a fan. So let me just check all the settings are right first before I go on. Okay, I'm going to have to change this this thing here. One moment. Because on this new map, you never see the non-white version of this. Okay, is that about right in terms of the position? I think that'll do. Right, so like I said, we're going to be looking at BLG versus G2, and even though I think these games, I mean, the first game wasn't exactly one-sided, right? It came down to an ending. Came down to whether they could hit the Nexus or not, basically, as does a lot of things. I want it to be the same size as the... It's really hard to see. Okay, we got it. Do always, as always, just drop any questions in the chat. It won't be like super serious. I'm on the Discord in case any of the players want to come and join, so we might get some different perspectives as the games go on. But I'm just trying to get my head into what if any meta developments from MSI. The other thing that I want to do and want to make sure that I'm doing is G2 in this series, from what I can remember. And again, I'm watching this just for fun with other people, often chatting about other things, or even playing a game while it's on the side, that kind of thing. But from what I can remember, they get caught out an awful lot. But of course, G2 are not a bad team, right? I would be completely happy if we were as good as G2. I would not complain. So how does BLG make it look like they just get caught out really silly situations over and over again? How do they move the map around to make it so that I can't, unfortunately. How do they move the map around to make it so that the G2 players get caught out? Yeah, unfortunately, they have to be only team personnel. So they get pushed in bot. They're losing a bunch of CS in the 2v2. I'm not going to look too much about the draft. I think this time it was the Karma last pick. Wait, this isn't even game one, is it? It's listed as game one, I think. Oh no, it's game two. Okay, right. Let's do it. Let's do it properly. We'll get there in the end. First stream of the... If you work for an ERL1 team, you should have access to Grid, and that's where you get them. But they also tell us to not share them with people who are outside of the team. So I'm not even completely sure that I'm allowed to stream them, but I'm doing it until they... And if they tell me I can't, then I'll take all the VODs down. Okay, so this was the one that was actually close. The other ones were less so. But like I say, I think here they get caught out less. They keep trying to catch hands out this time, but they don't manage to, whereas in future games they do manage to, and so that's one of the things that I want to see as we go. We'll go through it on ×2. I'm just kind of getting back into the swing of deeply analysing the game, so it won't be too intense. It won't be too... it's not going to be in depth of everything, is what I'm saying. I'm going to let stuff go and just ignore it. It was the first pick Annie, if I remember, which is pretty wild. Ezreal level 1, obviously stacking up the queue. and the lethal tempo makes the level 1 trade really good. LSR level 1 is not very useful. I don't know how Labrov actually managed to get a start on Smith's Fortune there, but it gives a massive advantage 2v2. I think I would have preferred the Rumble here, by the way. Not the Rumble, the Galio here. I think people mostly are doing either something like Ornn or Galio into... Oh, my phone thinks I'm saying Gemini when I say Galio. That's a problem. So it keeps popping up. Yeah, so I think whatever you play there, like it's not the Baus Galio. If you take Galio, it's like tank Galio. But the thing is just I think that magic damage shield would be really, really useful on the Alistar engage, especially. Obviously, if Annie just flashed Tibbers, you're not going to get this shield down quick enough. But the ult doesn't need to land for the Galio shield to apply, so... I also don't think they necessarily need more engage with the potential of Aurora coming from one side and Labrov and Skewmond able to kind of get in. So here they go for the swap, but they go for the swap, I think they don't really have that much tempo when they go for this swap. Because he has to walk all the way back here, E back this way, the wave is actually neutral when Ezreal starts his base. So Ornn's going to reset and TP, but they do drop this whole wave for this swap. So an entire wave drops, and the wave is pushing back. And what happens instead is 2 minions are going to die for BLG, I mean. Yeah, so they lose 2 minions worth of XP versus a whole wave. Because Labrov misses that E, that's also a bit of a problem. I mean, it's okay. The swap is not bad, I think, but I would think you'd want to be in a better situation considering how well the level 1 did. Yeah, a little bit expected. I think this first game was quite close, right, if I remember? But this is what can happen, I have to say, in situations where one team is much more favorable. Speaking from experience. The first game can be like really close, and yet suddenly like the next game and then the next game are just like feels a bit hopeless. So I think this first game ends up actually they could have won if they'd have played it a little bit differently and just played the Baron or not tried to end, but future games it was not close, you're right. Okay, that is so unlucky, by the way. Yeah, I mean it's a mistake now, but like if I think they should go Baron as well. From again, I wasn't watching it like intently. We'll get to it. Oh my god, 18 HP. This was really weird as well from Skewmond. I mean, I guess like Skewmond and I mean Labrov is not a rookie in international experience, but your mid lane's getting pushed in, your bot lane's getting pushed in. You can't fight for this river. Even coming here, I don't really like so much. You can't fight for the scuttle. I don't know what he's doing. They see Rumble, right? No, they don't. Okay, now they see Rumble. He literally knows that Rumble is there. I don't understand why they play for this. Okay, like, they get the smite, I guess. Yeah, I think Genji is going to be a tough ask. Is it double elim now? Is everyone in double elim in MSI? Do people know? So far it's just Skewmond. I don't know why he's contesting that. I think the swap is not ideal, but it's okay. Now they go for the grubs. It's going to be a classic thing that's happened like from the back end of last season with these first spawn of grubs. Where they take the first 2 and then by that point, the enemy has now cleared the wave, for example, in top and mid, and so can then contest you for the other one. So we end up seeing this trade quite often if both teams are playing for the grubs. I don't really... I mean, to be honest, I think Lavrov has really had a poor showing at MSI so far. I don't know if I'm comparing it to Mickey last year and that's why I think it's so poor, or if I actually think he's just played poorly. But like stuff like that is just really silly. Just throwing out your ult for kind of no reason and then just you have to flash away. And then he's just done, like in this whole play, he's just not assisted at all. Genji beat T1 easily. Yeah, but T1 beat HLE easily and Genji didn't beat HLE. You know, like it goes round and round and round. They give the ROFL files to teams in ERLs. You can get ROFL files, but I did say already I'm not supposed to share it. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to do this, so don't tell anyone. If I'm told I have to take it down, I'll have to take it down and we'll start looking at them in different ways. But for now, considering it's been a while since this game happened, I'm going to look at it like this. Okay, so they get a pick on mid while... I think this is just because he's got no flash. He's got no flash, the wave is crashing in and Xin is not quite close enough. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to be spreading them around, but if I have to and they tell me I'm not supposed to even broadcast them, then I'll have to take these VODs down, but for now we can have access to them. So they take the dragon because 2 ults used in mid lane. But I think that's still okay. I don't think you were necessarily fighting this with Rumble already being here. This, I don't understand. This, again, I just remember these plays, like, because like I said, I was watching it just like with friends and talking while it was going on. I don't know why this happens. Again, they know Rumble is here. Knight crashes in top wave. They know they've taken dragon. Why is Lavrov walking up this far? With no flash. They've got nothing to do. Yeah. Like I say, I remember G2 getting caught out loads, and I was thinking it would be really good for us to watch this from BLG's side and to show here's how they make G2 look silly and make them do silly mistakes, and this is how quickly they punish mistakes and all that kind of thing. But there, they do nothing to make Lavrov walk up there, and they just punish him for overstaying. I saw that you mentioned Broken Blade Source Champions. I didn't see that there was a question. Yeah, what's the question? It seemed that when Broken Blade chooses things like Ornn, Silent Gragas, the team feels balanced. Are you asking if I agree? I think at the moment in this tournament, Broken Blade's had a very rough tournament, and so on those kind of champions that are useful anyway, that's always going to be, you're always going to be in a better spot. The fact that this ends up as a trade is really, really good. I think this is just a little too early. The idea is good. It's just a little too early. Actually, no, it's not. Why is Kumon not ulting? We can fight for this pink for sure. Aurora's there first. Pantheon's coming in. We get a really nice start. Pantheon ult. If Pantheon's ulting here already, then I think he's just dead. Because now you follow up this CC with the Pantheon W as well. Obviously, Alistar's there to block something and knock someone away. And then the turnaround comes in. They just funnel into this choke. They just look really uncoordinated. So if you're going to do this, like everyone has to be doing it straight away. Like we have to, this guy has to die. When we go in like this, we have to like get as much as we possibly can. And then we've got to be really cautious of playing on chokes against MF, Alistar, and Annie. But all this can be known before you go into the fight. So it's something I talk about a lot. Like, we can front load all this thinking. We don't need to be in a fight thinking, okay, where's good for us to fight, where's bad for us to fight. We can literally know before it all starts. And then now it's just a nightmare. And like I say, like I think this is actually fine. Like, to fight for this pink is fine. I think we have tempo on this. We have Ornn TP. Enemy doesn't have Rumble TP. So if the fight keeps going forever and ever for some reason, Ornn has tempo. Aurora is there first, has first move, can jump over this wall. But Skewmond, if we're fighting for this, I think he can be ulting like straight away. And he can already be going. Like, so Hanshammer knows we're going, Labrov knows we're going, and for some reason Skewmond doesn't know we're going. He has ult. He's just walking over to see if something happens. And now he's not in time. He walks forward, just gets comboed, and just walks away. So far in both the skirmishes, someone on G2 has literally just walked around and done nothing. Around Grubs, it was Labrov. Around there, it was Skewmond. And now you've lost two... Actually, you didn't really lose the top skirmish, right? There wasn't really a skirmish. But the point is that Labrov just threw ult and then flashed away. So already we're just like giving things up. And it's aura, it's all those things. I think you play with nameplates off, you play this exact same situation out in EU, and they go for that, you know? It's my guess, at least. I mean, it's, yeah, so far it's just been like really discoordinated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch through. We've got obviously 3 games, and then we have way more games. There's going to be way more games coming. It's one of the great fun and also a bit annoyance of international events. But I think this is a good schedule, right? Like, this one isn't like Worlds where you have like loads of games at the beginning, and then it gets to the point where we have 1 game a week, and suddenly we have way less LOL going on. So they trade the towers. They've traded the dragons. They've got 2 grubs. See, if you just got rid of those 2 fights, like or that fight especially, like, it would have been a fine situation. And I think the fight was good. So now they clear mid and they push into the jungle because Ornn is pushing up top lane and they're giving up bot. So they're like fully investing resources on the top side and just giving up this lane completely. So let's see where they give up this lane. Okay, so they play this sequence like 2 waves, right? So this is something that we were talking about at the end of last split, especially with Chachi. And let's look and see if this is actually a good example of it. So Caps leaves bot lane completely. They play on these 2 waves. They cancel the base. So enemy clears this wave, which means we're going to push in. We'll clear this wave first and push in and then play hard on Broken Blade's lane. And we're just giving up this side. Now we decide who gets the tower. Oh, we fucked it though. Because we didn't even get the tower. Okay. Hey, thanks. I don't know if that's Andy or Adney. Yeah, I'm really excited for the split. I think it'll be awesome. The new roster is Vizichachi, Yankos, Swairu, Hido, and Treats. Okay, so they play these 2 waves, but they don't commit anywhere near enough for this tower. I'd like this tower to die on this wave, to be quite honest. And then someone like coming back for this next mid wave. But if Ezreal just tanks this, like not tanks this, but like just plays this wave a little bit more safely, and then we just kill this top tower. Here, engaging on this. Okay. So they're changing their mind. They want to play on this wave instead. And he's TPing in. This actually is a good good sequence from G2. I think this is the thing though. Like, so when you're here, sorry, let's go back. Sorry, the match replays are not publicly available. The roster will be full time. Don't worry about asking questions unrelated to the game. Well, it's okay. Okay, I mean, so like I said, they play these two waves. They traded towers, then they want to play mid wave and top wave. Now they leave this tower really early, which I don't really like, because you're already giving up this. For the movement, you're already giving this up. But I think you can be taking this instead. You didn't clear this pink, which was a little bit annoying, but sure, shit happens. And now we're back on mid lane to fight for this mid wave. So we're not fighting on this wave, and we've like pivoted it back. So it's like we're playing mid top, then we do mid into top, but then we actually give up top to play on the next mid. And they do catch MF on it. But that's where BLG, I think, was just trying to cheat that one extra wave to allow them to heavily play on the side. And so instead, you get the pick, and then you actually don't quite get mid tower, but get most of it. But then Herald goes down. I mean, it starts to get so scrappy. So Xin picks up the tower. He's going to put Herald to use it to come to mid lane and also hit the mid tower probably. Can't remember if he hit it or not. Yeah. And now they're going to lose top. They are going to take top, sorry. Not lose. We're definitely doing these all from like EU side. Okay, so MF takes mid. I mean, if G2 play like this, I think probably they will, yeah. Aurora's TPing across. I don't like just keeping extending every sequence. So BLG didn't quite take mid lane, and so now you're going to trade like mid for top, and you've got mid low obviously, which is great, but now we're taking scuttle and stuff like that. But here we just like keep extending the sequence. So Caps has 2k gold. And he's TPing now. Like, just reset. No one else is ready. We still have our bot lane coming out of the base. Now we're TPing behind them in mid, and we end up just wasting the TP. And we don't get anything for it. Oh, that is my main, by the way. I don't play any games. I think there's like 6 games on there. I played them on stream. I only just saw people asking about solo queue. I don't play solo queue. I haven't played solo queue since I've been coaching professionally. So since like 2017, I haven't played by myself until this year, where I played some games on stream. Sorry, I got distracted. Right, so because so what you need to be thinking about here is that when everyone else on your team is not ready to make the other part of the play, then anything that you're going to do is going to be much less productive. So these two guys are not ready. Ornn is obviously not ready. He's dead. So MF just E's and walks away, and this chunk doesn't even need to happen. So we just literally use TP for nothing. And not only do we not use TP for nothing, the other thing that you don't see, the other cost that you don't see, is now for the next play, Caps is now recalling. Now everyone else is ready, and Caps isn't ready, because he's got to go back to base. So if you've got 2k gold, and you've just like finished making another sequence of plays, you've got to be very careful about those TPs, I think. So now Caps is out and ready, and now now it's still their turn, because we have to collect these waves on both sides. So for all this time, it's just BLG's like map to play with, because initially Broken Blade was dead and other people were out on the map, and then Caps had to recall, and then they had to clear side lanes, which allows this makes this whole sequence happen where G2 can't really do anything. And now 2 of G2 people are going back while Caps is pushing up side lanes. We don't want to show on all 3 waves at once, so they don't do that, I hope. But now Caps uses ult for basically nothing, because 2 people are back in base. Let me look at it from... so if we look at it, like, you look at it from this whole sequence, from BLG's point of view. So this TP comes in. Okay, Xin does get chunked. But then this whole time, just enemy is just basically behind numbers on the map. So Caps is now starting to push in top wave. And now he's pushing this, but like no one else can pressure at the same time. So I quite like the like aggressively pushing sides. Obviously, that's a very famous G2 thing. Yeah, sorry, I'm alone on Discord. So with the team, I've said these reviews are optional, but if you want to join, you're welcome to. So I'm in a call with myself. It helps me think I've got friends. Let me just check Discord messages, sorry. So, yeah, but this is actually optional, and Eric is coming in a bit, but he's just at the gym. So, what was I saying? Yeah. Caps is pushing out, uses his ult. I don't mind them pushing aggressively for side lanes, because over the long course of a game, you do get a lot more CS. But now we're just starting to be in a situation where we're not quite able to do anything like fully coordinated as a team, and this is where the LPL teams, like AL especially, but even BLG, will just punish you really, really hard if you're not ready for stuff. So this flash is mega weird from me. Aurora is there. G2 has TP advantage. But this is something that's caused by BLG. Like, they're the ones who pull this trigger. So now we're going to get this, and we're hopefully going to use this to get the dragon as well. Okay, we're going to reset first because we have stuff to spend. Okay, yeah, massive spike. Yeah. Okay, so if it's a big spike like that, like, you need to TP. You need to reset. But Caps would have TP, by the way, if he hadn't have like wasted it while everyone else was doing something else. And it's not that it's very hard, obviously, because if he TPs there and he does get the kill, then you could say, oh, it's worth it. But I think the main thing for me is just trying to work out, okay, in my opinion, over most times, if you do that 100 times, I think it doesn't work very often. To make a TP play when you've got 2k gold spent and everyone else on your team is in base. So Caps didn't actually need to go there. He didn't need to. The wave would just stay in the middle. But it probably means he's a little bit short of an item. So G2, what they do is they trade the fact that they were ahead on tempo and they could have just played with tempo instead, so that they get the dragon and try and make it so that the waves are just crashing in here when the dragon respawns. And so they can kill it straight away. And then you're just kind of playing with the time advantage where we're trying to get the dragon. Or you can do what they did, which is that with the time advantage, we're going to base for items. We're going to send Caps top so that he can also get some gold and get an item. And then when we come back out, we're just much stronger in the fight than we would have been. And that's how we'll get the dragon. And I think that's, to be honest, that's the more modern way of playing the game. I think that's better because you can always, like, the fights are almost, they happen because of the dragon, but they're also more important than the dragon. But then here, Skimon is going a little bit too far forward, because for now, it's still like they're outnumbered. So he doesn't get caught, but he's like right on the edge there of being too far forward. Obviously, Pantheon has stuff like the E, so he's quite tanky. So this mid wave is going to be really important. There's enough people around so that they can't just take the dragon. There's enough people around to stop them. And so now it's a 5v5 on mid lane, but Ezreal does have the item, Caps does have the item and stuff like that. So that's what they get for the trade, even though it's like, okay, we killed 2 of them and dragon's up in 30 seconds, therefore we should be taking the dragon with just the tempo. This is the other way to do it. You trade the tempo in for the items, then you play that. Now Caps instantly looking for the flanks, because he's still playing on this wave, but the way that he plays on the wave is he comes on the side of it. So he's not just like flanking for the sake of it, he's flanking on that mid-wave timer. What's the best top lane champ? As in like my favorite or the best in the meta at the moment? But he does get caught on the side now. Both. My favorite of like pro play champs, this is probably a controversial take given the year. I actually really think Rumble is a super interesting champ and a great thing to have in the game, because there's so few like damage dealing carries in top lane that are like consistently good and could be also like taken blind and like can be powerful early picks in the draft and stuff like that. And I actually really love that there's this like mage champion that works in a completely unique way with the heat and all that kind of thing. But I admit that that's probably quite a controversial take from this year, considering he's just been a menace in pro play for the whole year. So that's my controversial take on a good top lane champ. Maybe not my favorite, but a good one. Let's look at how Caps ends up getting caught here, because we end up using a massive tool for the team fight just to live. So he was going for the flank. He gets seen here. He's just going too far forward or what? Alistar comes around, like they come around to both sides at the same time. Now he just gets jumped on. And then he just W's. He doesn't W over the wall. So I think that's just bad micro, to be honest. He does get a chunk, and while they're chasing him, they get the dragon, but I think he can just W over the wall. Maybe he knew he was safe somehow. I got scared. I mean, here, the game is still like really, really even. Like I said, this series wasn't even, but this first game I think really was. So G2 opening mid and top, and they're leaving that bot wave. All three of the waves after that play. That's actually quite crazy. Well, all three of the waves getting pushed in. Okay, because they pushed this wave in, right? That's why. So they push the bot wave in, and then they play on mid-top. So Broken Blade comes across the hover for this next mid wave while they go towards the top side. They push this up. They go aggressively into the jungle because they're playing with an advantage, like they've opened on two waves and they see someone on bot, they see two people on bot, so they can play mega aggressive on this side. Knight is mega inting by running around this way. It's a bit of a shame that he doesn't die here. And the fact that they use Orno. Now that was their window to do that, because now Rumble has got push. So Rumble's going to come across, Caps is going to have to retake and do that, and now it's like BLG's turn. So when people talk about turns, this is what they mean. I think turns is a little bit too simplistic when you're talking about it for players especially, but now there's no Orno for this fight. Do they just take this for free? I can't remember this. Yeah. Okay. So because they fully gave up bot when they played two waves, they're going to lose the Atakan. Not actually, like for me, normally when you see these kind of situations, it's because like they've just fucked up and like dropped a wave completely. Is this literally just because we have push and you just can't give up bot push ever? At this timer when there's no dragon, there's no Baron on the other side? Maybe. Because it really looks like it's just impossible to do anything with this. So maybe you just can't give up that. Like if there was Baron up, like if you do the same play in another 30 seconds, then obviously like they can't take Atakan because you would get Baron. Yeah, not the only free Atakan. But this is worse than a free Atakan as well because they come in afterwards. So now, like, I think you have to just say, fuck it, like, it's dead. Maybe, how long does the thing wear off? Like, I think maybe if you had Ornalt as well, why can't I click anyone? It doesn't even stay on for very long. But look, here's mega squishy now. If you had Ornalt here, I think they can't do this. So I think probably, like, just the threat of the Ornalt is enough. Because if you can force a fight even after the Atakan's dead, you just kill them all and you would take Baron. And so here, when you use the Ornalt, that's what's giving them the permission. It's not just we push one wave and therefore we can get it. So obviously this is massive hindsight because when this happens, you can't be saying instant give. Like, okay, now we know that they're quick enough, but like you have to be some sort of AI to realize that in 2 seconds, like, or in 1 second, you know that this is gone. Because what G2 should do is just mega push mid, but I only know that because I can see it die quick enough. When I see this, I think we should go fight this, shouldn't we? Like, surely they can't do this. Maybe you just Pantheon ult in, just YOLO. So they want to play the back end because everyone's resists are really low. But again, because you don't have the time, like you're channeling into On, who gets a really nice flank, really nice engage. I mean, actually not even the best engage, but it's still good enough. So basically BB's fault. I was thinking that the Annie was dead there as well. I would be a bit sad if I Ornalted there and it was Annie's living. But she did, because Labrov got insta-stunned and put the ward on the wrong side of the wall and didn't flash after Annie. But probably wouldn't have been able to kill Annie anyway, so. And now you're walking into Alistar, Rumble combos. I hope Cap's become the captain since he needs to be more alpha and doing all of his decisions. I mean, I think that the captain, in terms of what BB does, doesn't need to be anything to do with like the IGL or like whoever's talking in game the most. Like, if you talk about actual captaincy in sport, like it can be, it's the leader like out of the game. I think is more important in terms of like official captains or whatever. Because caps can learn to be more vocal in game as a separate thing and doesn't need to be the one giving the like rousing speeches and stuff like that. So then let's look at it from like On's point of view, because I think this is something that I would say potentially at this tournament. Who is it? Like On, Carrier. I was going to say potentially like the East versus West. The biggest difference is actually in like support. Maybe that's not true. But I do think that Eastern supports get way better engages and way more flanks than we do in the West, for sure. Yeah, BB has had a bad tournament, for sure. But that doesn't mean he's had a bad tournament as the captain, you know? Again, we should split up in-game and out-of-game. I don't know what he's done as a captain out-of-game. I actually don't know what he's done as a talking in-game either, but it could be that it was really good. Yeah, the Warwick, what was it, double or triple solo kill was not a good moment for BB for sure. Okay. But the game is still okay, right? The thing we said before is like 10%. That's a very, very, very rough, very simplistic way of thinking about it. But a 2k gold lead when everyone's got 40k, that's not as big a deal. I mean, these two Ornn items give you more than, give you 2k's worth of value, right? So Ornn and Labrov resetting, but they get the scuttle. So they have the vision. They're going to give it up now. They lose mid push. Enemy takes vision. This is another one that was just wild. Do you know why G2 gave away Yagamiki? That is a Good question. I don't know. They had their most successful year ever, pretty much. Not ever, but like since the sort of 2019 Jankos G2. And then they gave up 2 very good players because they had, as far as I can tell, I have no inside knowledge, it literally looks like they gave up 2 players after they got an unlucky draw at Worlds. Because they say sometimes that, like, okay, the draw had nothing to do with it, but they also say that the decision wasn't made before Worlds. So that means to me that if they'd have gone further, they might have kept the same roster. And for example, T1, right, with the roster that won back-to-back, they were in a final and they lost. If that happens in EU, we get to a Worlds final, we're supposed to win because we've been playing really well, and we lose to DRX, nuke the whole roster, they're chokers, they can't win, and then they don't win back-to-back Worlds. So I don't know. This idea that, like, if you've been together for a couple of years, therefore that's the max, not only the max potential that you could ever get to, but also the max results you could ever get. Like, you could literally be just as good as they were last year, be more lucky with your draw, and get way further. Again, I'm saying this with absolutely no inside information. There might well have been great reasons to give up those 2 players. But I think give them 2 years and they might be almost as good as they were when they swapped players, but probably not even. So it's it's kind of nuked. Like, I don't know what Labrov is doing here. I think Labrov has had a really poor MSI as well. I think Skumon's been fine. But here, like, he just goes way too far forward. Caps is re-saying, like, this is not our wave, is it? Okay, maybe it's our wave, but this is not the wave. It's quite a big gap. And you're literally running past that ward. You're not even running to it. We're just not ready. We're not here. Like, if he's doing that when the wave is here, then maybe we're ready with Pantheon and Ornn. But, like, you can't expect people to coordinate properly around nothing, you know? You coordinate around things. So they're pinging this wave. Look, ping, ping. And he just gets engaged on way too early. He does manage to get a stun onto Annie, but Annie's already dropped Tivers. Hasn't she? No, she hasn't even dropped Tivers. Okay, she drops Tivers at the end. And now all their, like, the back half of the fight is kind of doomed because they've used up so much of their shotgun. That's why I love promotion relegation in League. If you have a shaky year, you would not get cold feet and nuke the whole roster. Maybe, but when we did have promotion relegation, we still nuked the whole roster all the time. we kept the same average players around for so long because people were scared about getting demoted, and so they wouldn't promote players that had a little bit of a risk because it was like, well, I can either promote this player who no one's ever heard of and I might get demoted, or I can keep this same player who's been in the league for ages and it's always been on the bottom but never actually been last. So Western teams have been getting all hate in League for not being dominant much, unlike in 2019. Yeah, it's really close. League is a snowball-based game, and just professional competition has so much randomness, and I think we just completely ignore that. As it's okay for players and coaches, honestly, can ignore that, and kind of should. You should play as if you have everything in your control. But head of LoL, GM, those kind of positions shouldn't ignore the fact that there's so much randomness. I mean, take, for example, first stand, right? And again, not leaking anything, no inside knowledge, just chatting shit, basically. It ended up being the best placing of an EU team since, what, 2019, right? We got to finals, didn't win. Awesome, we did an amazing job. But I'm pretty sure the results were outside of KC's control for it to be like the worst total placing. 2 other results had to happen so that they didn't get knocked out before even getting to the knockout stage. So the question is, like, how do you approach that? is this the worst team ever that needs to be like nuked? Because I think if they'd have not made it through, there would have been major calls to like change the roster or like something's gone wrong. I don't think they would have done it actually, because I think they're actually very good at balancing like what the fans want and actually good decisions. But it just shows you there's so many things that can be like outside of your control that have a massive impact on your placing. And so I'm always a bit sad when I hear people say, if we'd have done better at Worlds, we would have kept the same roster. It's like, that makes me sad, guys. We have to do better than that. And maybe that's the thing that you're saying publicly, and actually it's not true. Okay. Sure, I think it's immature, not immature, that's the wrong way to say it. I think it's silly to say it publicly if it's not the case, because you should let everyone know that you're a little bit more sophisticated than that. But anyway, now it should be over. It's not, but it should be. We got very distracted from the game. This is, as always, I like it, but it's not a review anymore. It's just John rants about stuff. So now they get the Baron, they get the Dragon. Now it's like a 5k gold lead. Now they're going to pick up a bunch of towers. They just play mid and top. They ignore bot completely. And when G2 commit for mid, they just play on bot. So I think that a nice way to think about these two waves plays is not that you have to fight both sides, but it's just that the enemy shouldn't be able to take both waves for free. And that's, I think, a nice way of thinking about it. So, okay, this time they took mid wave, so we fully commit to the other wave, you know? And you can always pick one side, and that's where you'll always get a fight, either in between or on one of the waves. I think, yeah, Broken Blade had a bad playing stage, but that doesn't mean he's also got enough experience that he can turn it around. He's had plenty of amazing internationals. Like, was it last year's MSI where he was the best performing player? Or maybe the year before, they're always there. I actually don't know how this game becomes close again, Ethan. Because I think I kind of tuned out at this point when I was watching it with my friends. I was like, okay, okay. Oh well, we got the rest of the series, and yet they actually turned this game around. So now Rumble's not actually here, and that's why they have to back away. So they wanted to play now mid and top, like these two waves, but this wave crashes too fast, so it's gone, and Rumble doesn't have a chance to like shift across properly to play on this wave. Actually, he probably did. He could shift here, but I would rather them play a little bit more aggressively on this mid wave to push it a little bit deeper and actually try and push G2 back a bit so that they can free up this route to top lane. I think this route is probably too ambitious no matter what. But they push them back a little bit here so that they can throw up this route to the top side. But instead they don't, and so Pantheon's there to stop the transfer across, and now Rumble can't get to the other side. Since we're already really off course with the review, love it. Do you think that LR will get scrims against LEC teams after winning EU Masters twice now? The downside of, if LR weren't streaming scrims, they would have already had loads of LEC scrims, by the way. Like, no one is not scrimming LR because they're not good enough to scrim. Obviously, LEC teams don't have that many free days because they scrim each other all the time, who are probably as good, if not better, than LR, even if it's a bottom tier LEC team. That's maybe debatable. But it's because it's on stream. And so, you know, if G2 was... oh, wait, actually, this is how bad it is. I'm still so used to the fact that G2 are just the dominant team in EU that I still use them as an example. If whoever's actually the best in scrims, the best scrim partner in LEC, starts to stream scrims, they probably get more scrims than LR. But it's not just because it's LR, it's because it's not that they think teams that have won EMEA Masters twice aren't good enough, it's that it's also the stream as well. So you have to have a really good reason to do it, and most teams can't come up with one at the moment. I hope we get to see Claps later. I mean, Caps played super well in the GAM series, no? Like, from what I remember, he was hard carrying that. Okay, now and they go to mid and they lose mid. But now this is the thing. I think this is going to end up being one of the turnaround points. BLG pull this engage with two things that have happened here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4K not spent. So, okay, 7k gold lead, but half of it is just sitting in your pocket. Obviously, there's some from them as well. And the other part is that we're playing on these two waves, but no one is showing on mid wave, and no one is showing on bot wave. So actually, this wave, if you just watch them, if everyone just stands here and watches, then this wave pushes in, it starts to threaten towers. Rumble can push here and start to threaten and maybe look across with ult. But instead, they mega engage on this wave, and now suddenly, what it is instead is just a 5v5 when we haven't spent 4k gold. And so Alistar goes too deep and dies before anyone can even help. And then Xin is now left because they can't chase and keep the Xin safe. I don't know why he didn't E at the start of that. Oh, he doesn't have it. Eing in here with no E is very aggressive. But it works, stops the follow-up. Yeah. Fearless makes stream scrims much less, giving much less away. That's for sure. So that's a little bit of a reprieve. It still should be doomed now that the gold is spent. 150 on the next dragon. And now they're strong enough they can just rinse, repeat the same thing. But basically, people didn't need to show. So until they need to show, like, we don't actually have an advantage. And so you can still play that fight, but you can't play it as if, like, we're just running over this. I could just combo anyone under tower and it's fine. Because it's a 5v5 under tower and they have no reason to be in anywhere else. So they aren't. So G2 pushes up mid wave. They basically can only get push and only get prio from when the enemy goes somewhere else, like from cross map. They're just throwing stuff around mid to play for this dragon. Let me look at this whole sequence actually. So they're disjointed, but they pushed out this to give them a bot lane to give them as much time as possible. Then they're just throwing things back and forward on mid lane. And actually the throwing things back and forward part with Ezreal and Pantheon Qs and stuff like that is beneficial for G2. And this is a really nice flank from Caps to play again. He's flanking on the wave. He's not just flanking in general. But they still have to give up the position, which is a bit of a shame. Which now leaves BLG the opportunity to just like run into the base. But it's a really nice engage. So they got the poke situation is better for them, is better for G2. So in these situations where we're just like throwing shit back and forward on the wave, it's actually a good situation. Hans plays it really, really well. Yeah, you're right. He's super consistent. And he gets so much damage in this situation. It's a really nice Leona roll. And they win the fight despite being down a lot of gold. Oh, this is the moment. Yeah, the Ornn items, but I think as well, like if you look at the positioning and stuff, the reason that this fight is good, Alistar is already down, so Alistar is like really, really not useful in this situation. Ezreal has hit so much poke now by this stage that now like they can just punish the Alistar. Really nice, like I say, really nice Leona roll. Gets a flash and also stuns someone. The follow through hits 2 as Pantheon jumps in, and it's just really well coordinated. And he doesn't hit like a mega 5-man stun. So here, I mean, they can just take these two. They can just take these two and defend. But I think they're so close to just winning this. Ornn is tanking towers. I mean, honestly, any time they spent trying to kill Alistar might be enough. I think you can't. I mean, shit happens, you know, guys. Like you can't blame them for trying there. I think. Problem is, poke gets too much by the time the fight starts. Two of them are half HP. Yeah, exactly. They're half HP, and also Alistar's used ult, so Alistar becomes such an easy target. And then already they're just running backwards, and it's always going to be tough. I think they can just take Dragon and Baron, and obviously the game keeps going. Ooh. But that's a bit of 2020 hindsight. I think they can end, and I think they could also just take Baron and Dragon. Now this is game 2. It starts obviously getting worse and worse and worse. Yeah, true. PB could have bought Triforce. And it's not very much damage that they need, you know. It's like the Atakan thing. I think you can't be upset that a team, like, you have to just make a split-second call and trust your gut. And if that had actually been like 1 second faster and they'd have won the game, we'd all been like, "Oh, great call, guys." Yeah, if they don't hit Alistar, I think they end. I think they were calling to kill Alistar, but they didn't even kill him, so he's still there to disrupt them as much as possible. So there's no advantage of having hit him. If you're trying to end and there's still another person alive, you either have to kill that person or just don't touch them. Not going to look too much at the draft because we're on a different patch, I think, by the time we play, so... I really thought they could get something here. Do they not know Skarner's based, I guess? Or Skarner's not there? Let's look at it from G2's point of view. So Lavrov actually goes base. But I think if Vi and Jax just run into this bush, aren't these guys like dead here? My biggest disappointment in this series was the difference between Hans game 1 and game 2. Yeah, I mean in game 2, in game 1, like we saw, he was really, really good at putting out huge damage for sure. I think, I don't know why they didn't go for that. Did you get to pick up whoever you want to be on Nord? No, I mean we have no budget, so we're sort of trying to convince people. That being said, we do actually have exactly who I'd want on the roster, but it's not like we could just say like, don't go somewhere else, come here. We have to pick people who are we can be because of the team, because of the level of competition, and because of the chances of winning. Like we've become the best option for people. You see the rest of BLG? I don't think they knew. But they had wards and they hadn't seen them. So we rewatched it. They hadn't seen them and they had wards. So like they might not know, but I think they should take that chance, you know. Like to imagine that Skarner and Sion were there and somehow dodged all the wards but were still there, I think that's pretty unlikely. And considering like bot lane is going to be in a very, very poor position early on due to the his Karma counter. I would have taken it. Oh my god, I remember that. It's got 1v1 first blooded. Humanoid is open. I'm not sure. Is that even true? Might be. That again, I don't have any inside information, but I feel like I could make a guess. And my guess would be that Humanoid is playing in summer in the LEC. Fnatic Bobby, don't start. I've got my tweets ready if it goes horribly, especially if Humanoid is in the LEC and he does well. I'm definitely going to have to tweet like, well, how many games was Poby playing 2 weeks after he got knocked out? That's the real test. I mean, Ari and Talia is like more equal, right? Like it goes back and forward who's winning. Obviously, you shouldn't get solo killed. Let's see this swap then. So that's why as well, I think like doing that level 1, especially when you have the Jacks coming in on a flank, like I would go for it, because if you upset how things are going, level 1. That's actually quite interesting. How like planned was this? Like how did? Let's look at it from. Is this just mega obvious? Because I love that kind of thing. Okay, yeah, it's not. It's just mega obvious. Yeah, okay. So they just know. And it's interesting, they leave their support bot. Obviously you're going to get way less gold from last hits. Why is he still getting 14? Oh, it's because he hasn't procced the thing yet. Yeah, and then UTP. What I was meaning with the swaps, the like being as severe, is that I actually think that kind of thing with Nico is still really underdone. Like, you do a swap and you run top as Nico and you run top as the top laner, and so they think that just the top laner's there, you know? Like, not in Vision, like swaps from base where you play with Nico, I think could be interesting. But obviously less interesting unless Nico is like the top laner. You know, Nico is the top laner and you want to swap and she runs bot as the AD carry. Because if you get someone to TP or something like that, or do something different, then it can actually be quite good, and even just the small hesitation is like useful. This is just kind of wild. So I was kind of zoned out. They got a sorry, random Discord notification. Thought that was off. They did the swap. Civi's gone top lane. She's just going to chill and farm up. Jax is bot lane. He's got enough levels now where he can actually be a bit of a threat against these people 1v2. Nico and Vi roam down. They're really trying to get this wave in. Now just leave. Now just leave. Now the wave is gone already. Like, what are we fighting for? We wanted to stop him freezing it, I guess. Do you think Koi had chances against BLG? Honestly? Or do you want some hope? I think no. I would love to be disappointed. I think no chance. Yeah, I really hope they have. That's a good way of saying it. They get the ward down, they get plates, but it's still, you know, not the worst case situation. Okay, Civ is a bit behind on farm and also behind on plates, so it's like 300 gold down, and their top lane is also ahead because of all these weird swaps, but we're ahead in mid jungle, and we're also getting through the lane phase, you know? Your faces. Jojo getting destroyed by Bin. What? What? Why was he here? Did I miss that? Okay, enemy's taking dragon, right. Enemy's taking dragon, that's why he comes. But Caps isn't pushing mid lane. So if Caps has pushed this mid lane and they come in together, then you can do this. Now enemy full takes dragon. And it's just too, he just doesn't have the time for this, especially without the mid push. Because mid lane doesn't need to be here. So I think you have to push it already so that mid lane needs to be here. Whereas instead, two minions, right? Yeah, that's a good angle. I also think that MKOI are really not, especially if Elgar is on his game, they're really not afraid of like fighting you early. And BLG, like any Chinese team, will not back down from early fights. So if those early fights go well and you just mechanically play well, then you can actually snowball games against them. I think they have a very different opinion of best ofs than we do, where like they really just like they don't take every game, not that they don't take every game seriously, but they don't see any problem with like dropping games in best of fives. I think it seems like they do that against best of threes. Like against weaker teams, they just like will fight you all the time and then just see what happens. And if they win all those fights, then they just seem to crush the whole series. And if they lose them, then they get crushed in one game, and then the next game is very different. You see so many LPL series which are just like a 20-minute stomp from one team and a 20-minute stomp from the other team. But here things are still going okay because we've got this scaling in the Jax and the Sivir, and even though they're both behind, I mean, I don't like Labrov just quite often is just like on these random walkabouts, and it's amazing that he dodges this. He has the hot. This is why you should always have minions hotkeyed, because I think he dodges this Varusol, right? Maybe it wouldn't have hit him. But like, why is he clearing this ward when he doesn't know where Varus is? Okay, he does know where Varus is. I'm so confused about this whole thing. Let me see this. So he's wrapping round. Okay, he does see Varus, right? Don't know if that would have hit or not. But he just gets mega chunked and doesn't do anything for it. And now he's going to go to base, I guess. He's going to see if anything happens and then go to base. Okay, now he's going to stay. But the Varus does get punished when they see people coming back up this way. They just can't stay for this vision. I mean, this ward. Wave. They don't really get much for it because they both need to base, but they just get some gold and alleviate the pressure a little bit. Oh, I literally prepared a coffee and then I didn't make it. This was really good from Skewmon, like getting all the procs of Sundered Sky off. Just makes you really annoyingly tanky. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 where it really could have been something else. Oh, I've put everyone's vision. Moen is very I think he's the least consistent top at MSI. Although, like I said, BB's had a very rough playing stage. So here, like, this is where it starts. They're just like, I mean, it doesn't start here. It's already happened. It's just silly little mistakes. Like no summoners. You just say, okay, thank God I got the wave. And then you just can't spell shield not his ult. You have to just get chunked and spell shield his ult only. Now they play aggressively on the other side. Nice timing of the ult to just make sure the escape is not possible. And here, like, okay, you should have won the first game. Second game's going pretty good. Okay, you gave up 2 dragons, but you've got 2 grubs, and you've got Jack Sivir. And then it just starts going really horribly. Because you're playing against this... this is the moment, actually, I guess, where BLG are rewarded for the fact that they just won every lane. Because the towers start to crumble, and I think this time there's not a return for it. The fact that he gets away here is pretty tragic. Oh, not only does he get away, Caps dies. I remember this. Oh. So he's used 2 charges already. So flashes this time. He has to hit this charm. But he doesn't. And so he dies. And he takes another tower shot for it. If he hits him, by the way, he gets the health back and he gets the ult back and he lives. And I think then they get this tower and the whole play is good. Okay. I mean, how does he get caught here again? Is he not? I could have sworn he pressed either. No, he just didn't. He just didn't block it. So he just gets chain CC'd. Herald crashes in again. Okay, and now it's Mega ROFL. And they're going to get this tower. And then they can transition. No, they just get a bot tower anyway. Now it's a bit of a tragedy already. And then BB tries to base and then stays for the next wave. And this wave is one too many. So he dies. I was really hoping to find situations where they're like organizing things and making sure that like forcing G2 to be caught out of position. But a lot of times it's just really silly mistakes. But also there was a couple of times in that first game where they weren't punishing. So the ult trades happen. Yeah, in the first game there was G2 were just really discoordinated a couple of times. Right, I think there was the first team fight that went badly was actually should have been a good thing, but just one person was not engaging when everyone else was. Some of their teleport usage has been really, really wacky and really like desperate looking. Why are we TPing here? What do we get? If this goes well, what do we get? And maybe you say it's already so doomed, but like... Like, luckily, they're so scared they flash, but they don't need to. And then, like, why is... Like, Skarner stays. So because they've TP top, they're saying, okay, right, we make a big play on the other side of the map. Knight comes down here. Gets a massive chunk on caps, and now gets away, and now everyone should just run away. Like, if we're getting away, let's get away. But firstly, he's so scared that he can't wait half a second for the Talia to deactivate the wall. But Skarner's not scared at all, and so just hangs around. So this is like really... And then Hans dies again. No, that wasn't Hans, that was Lavrov. Someone's picked again. Interesting. Now they do take one tower on the other side, but they trade it for an inner tower. It's still probably the best you can do. And now they're going to take Atakan, and that is... They're not going to let them take this inner tower, are they? Maybe they are. This is massive. Just hard committing to the other side of the map and get some gold. I actually don't mind that as a trade. I mean, obviously Atakan is strong, but I don't think you can do anything about this Atakan going down. 26 flowers. Like at this stage, it's not actually transitioning to levels. Is he actually level 12, Lavrov? No, he's level 9. Okay, good. I was going to say. And this is nice. So while enemy is clearing top side, we are basically massively overloaded on top side, and we just played the cross map, like fully committed to it. And then when enemy comes back to our side, we then just are able to get a pick on them. And even though we're massively behind, we pick up a kill. It's nice. Yeah, they used some tools on the back end, but we still managed to get away. This is a good sequence. Because, yeah, okay. Oh, sorry. Didn't sleep all that well last night and forgot to do my coffee. So the kettle is boiled and the coffee machine is preheated and I didn't get a coffee. But yeah, the sequence is pretty good, I think. Okay, you traded Atakan for in a tower. In some cases, that's not worth it. But when you're getting nothing for it anyway, I think it's good. And then you play hard on the other side. So you just reset and you know they've got to deal with top. We're going to play mega hard on the other side. I mean, maybe you've got to go for stuff like that when you're really far behind. I think when he's got flash, though, I think it's hard to make that work. Yeah, now already it's sold, so it's a tough one. Well, need to not forget my coffee next time. It's very hard to kill this Scion. Even before Ocean Soul, it was kind of impossible to kill this Scion. I like going for these like mega flanks, even if he just gets caught and dies, because you're not winning a normal fight. So you have to just do something weird. We have to do something weird, and Varus has no flash. Okay, but now he gets seen. Now it's a Splinter Cell kind of moment. While they're chasing him, he just bounces for a bit, and everyone else has to go do something else. We're trying to catch Sam, but we don't even do it. I don't even know if he would die, even if they did catch him there with the E. Now they lose Baron. And they lose the game. Okay, I think it's going to take me a little bit too long to actually make a coffee now, so I'm going to go and turn off the stuff, but I'm going to take a bit of a break before we go to game 3. First game, they were just a bit too discoordinated for me in a bunch of different situations. Then the end call, I think, wasn't great. Here, they just, I don't like this draft. Like, they're losing every lane, and then they swap around to try and make up for it, but they end up just... What was this situation? So here, like, game is actually in a decent spot. We're behind in top and AD. Oh yeah, they just dive. The invade is just too long. Oh, and then Hans just gets caught a bunch in mid lane. Caught and dragon. Okay, so here's something. Then it's like we die on the cross map. Then caught and dragon. And caught and dragon. And it was the ROFL getting caught in the first game. But that's what that's what I was thinking. But I wanted to see how BLG made that catch happen. And I think in most cases, they're just a little bit more coordinated and a little bit more precise about where they want to play. So Lebrov, for example, in the first game, he dies when he's almost on that wave that they're pinging, but he's too far forward. He's not actually on it. So I'm going to be right back quickly, and then we will get into game 3. Now, I should probably not just leave, so I'm going to do this. And you'll see some music for a bit. See you in a minute.
Hello, John.
Oh, yo.
Yo.
Welcome.
Surprise. Thank you.
How was the gym?
Good, but holy fuck, I'm tired. I slept so bad because it's so warm.
Yeah, I was just saying the same. So I was doing the BLG versus G2 series. So I've just done game 1 and 2, and this is the last one. So
Nice.
won't be too much longer, but just
All good.
a bit of depression at the end. Did you watch the games?
I saw like some of it, but I didn't look at the game as a whole.
So in the first one, for me, I think there was a few times where they were just completely like uncoordinated, G2. There was a time where Labrov and Hans were going in on someone, and Scumon's in ult range as Pantheon, but he just like walks over instead. And so the Xin gets away, and then Labrov just gets caught on mid wave, like really way too far forward. But that's the one they could have won anyway.
Yeah.
And then game 2, Hans just gets caught out loads, I think, as well.
The smart level 1 by BLG actually.
So they go round, do you think, knowing that Rel's going to jump over this wall?
No, I think that they were just looking for Olaf.
Because he's got a ghost, yeah, and just flash cage, and then...
Yeah, exactly, and then Rakan click W in the cage and GG.
Not the best start.
How did BB play the first 2 games? Because I saw people were flaming him on socials.
Not great, but not terribly. I think I actually had a worse game against Furia, and then Gam as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Against Bin, it was okay, I think, as far as I can tell. I think for me, he wasn't particularly, he didn't have a big positive impact in either game, but he also wasn't.
Yeah, he's just there.
He was just there, yeah. He was playing Ornn and Jax, and the Jax game, the game 2, they also just picked like 3 losing lanes, and they just lost all the lanes.
Yeah, okay, classic against Chinese teams.
Yeah, so they were just really far behind. Look at these first ganks.
Actually, pretty good Veigar spot this game.
What do you think about a spellbook as well?
Oh, it's strong
Double
for sure.
spellbook versus single.
Yeah, I played
take it
spellbook
basically
on
when
some subs when you can have like a pretty free matchup, yeah.
So if you just don't need anything before, what is it, 6 minutes or whatever it is when you first actually...
Because like Guardian and Rakan this game, say like, I don't know what value you really get. Like, you'll get 60 shield or whatever it is on your AD, and then, yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, but when you like can swap flash for like exhaust or ignite or something, it's so strong.
We were caught out in EMEA Masters by Alistar TPing, like TPing on a flank, and then he was just
Really?
like behind us. Yeah, it's really weird.
Crazy.
Okay. Gets the gank off the first base as well.
I don't know what I feel about the
What's the
Senna
thing?
picks like these. I don't really like it when I've seen it.
What would you go instead? I can't remember what was even up in Fearless.
I don't
still,
know,
but
but
just something more aggressive in lane.
Yeah, like something with more like even something like Aphelios I think would be better here.
Okay. I think especially when you've got the TF, he's going to end up being a little bit more supportive in
Yeah, exactly.
mid lane.
Yeah. Same with Trundle too.
You want like one stun on someone and then just nuke them.
Yeah, like hit the Poppy. Like I think Poppy needs to die this game, or yeah, I don't think G2's comp can do that much.
Yeah, and like Sivir, they picked Sivir last game, but I was thinking Sivir actually would work.
Yeah, that would be a good pick. Yeah.
There's also a few times this game where either Labrov or Skimond are just like in the jungle when they don't have push in either of the other 2 lanes or something like that. Or like in the first game, Skimond just walks into river when BLG has push in both sides, and so he just gets clapped on and dies. Because I was thinking this game, because they did get caught out, I was thinking, okay, like how did BLG move the map so that G2 get caught out? And it just no, mostly they just go way too far forward.
Yeah, I mean G2 posture very aggro, yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just get away with it more in other situations.
I think Rel was dead there if Veigar caged properly. But Veigar caged the wrong target. Like they can put cage on Trundle and then pop E and him into the cage as well.
Yeah.
Or they just stun Rel and stun with Veigar and he's one shot. With Ignite
Yeah, now
Veigar,
stun.
QR, get popped.
Yeah. True. And he wouldn't be able to pop Alcazar either, aftershock.
Yeah. I think those like types of things Gen G won't make, like those mistakes.
So then, yeah, and on the flip side of this, like, they just can't contest this because it feels bad when you have top push to not be able to contest this crap when your support's already there.
Yeah, but
I guess you don't have mid push, and
I don't really
Poppy's
like
just
the
better
Labrov movement here too, though. Like I feel like he should be towards mid. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, what
on
is he
top.
doing? Yeah, like what advantage? I was just looking like, is the wave
I
is
think
dead?
if they hold the bush, it's pretty good because Olaf will crash this for sure.
Yeah,
And then they actually have TF on mid, and then I think they could CC chain.
yeah, and TF can ult from
Yeah, they,
well, he's
they
got
could like
low mana, I guess, but
yeah, but they can still run there.
yeah, like you just hold this and chunk Poppy as she comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But instead you give up the bush to Poppy, and now you've made this play so you lost the control, and then you try the next thing.
Yeah, and then the Rakan is also coming now.
Yeah, true. It was the repeat of it. And he still just sticks around to just watch it die. Yeah, so then he ends up going back to top lane.
Oh, this was the Caps play on bot, right?
What's he do?
When he kills Elk after. I think I saw this.
I was a bit given up by this point when I watched it the first time.
He just dove him really cleanly. You'll see. Stacks passive. Auto Q, auto. Pretty clean.
Not bad, not bad. And then on this side...
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Oh yeah, no, I did see this. I was thinking they could just... Isn't it better for him to just stick by his tower?
Yeah.
Because now he's just out of tower range and it still dies. But there's like one tower shot. I mean, maybe he's dead anyway, but... With Senna ult under tower...
I mean, he will take, they will take
and
more
his
damage.
W? Yeah. That's the support TP.
The flank.
Labrov on the move again. So they're going bot, but they're still contesting grubs. I guess they just want the first one and then get out. But I think he just...
I think it's
lucky to get out.
BLG.
Yeah, lucky to get out with just a flash set, to be honest. I mean, the games
so
are
when
not...
I watched G2, sorry, go ahead, John.
No, I was just going to say, they've not been like mega one-sided or anything like that.
No. It just feels like, I was going to say, like, I have very little faith in G2 to, like, play the game properly, you know? It's like, they're not, like, how do you say it? They're not, like, terrible, but they never play as good as they did in their, like, prime in the past, you know? It's like their ceiling is so much lower, it's crazy. Like, their floor is, like, still okay most games. Some games they're kind of trolling as well. But it's like, their ceiling is just way lower, so there's, like, no shot that they'll beat an Asian team with this roster, I think.
Yeah, it does feel like that a bit.
Like, I wouldn't even be able to tell you who's, like, the star player on G2 anymore. I mean, Caps is still, I guess, like, the...
Yeah, Caps had a
but he's
much better MSI than anyone else.
Yeah, MSI has been playing well, but EU he played not that good. Until, like, I guess, finals.
Yeah, so grubs for Dragon.
Cleanse, OP, Spellbook. Without Spellbook,
Wait,
he's
when
cooked.
did he... Okay, he already had it. I was
Yeah.
thinking if he transferred it, like... Because you can't.
Oh,
Can
that
you
would
do
be
it
sick.
while in combat with minions, or
No
literally
combat.
full out of combat? Yeah. Okay. So he transfers it.
He
now.
swapped now. Oh, that's so annoying. My god. They're like, no flash. We can CC chain, guys.
That's so annoying. That's such a weird. It doesn't actually change the cooldowns of anything, right? Like the swap cooldown gets lower, but the summoner spell's cooldown doesn't get lower.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot invested there. It's pretty good actually for a G2.
Yeah. I don't know about the TP though.
Wait, what the hell? It's just grubs.
They've got the
diff or
3
what?
grubs, I think. They just go for it.
But can't they just get it anyways, slowly?
Yeah, I think
But
with
even if
Trundle,
they don't get it,
with
is it
Trundle,
that
then
worth?
they get it anyway.
But there's no way it's worth for Olaf to give up like what 2 plates and like 2 waves.
And a full
now.
wave at least, yeah.
2 waves at least.
Yeah, because he's not getting that one, is he? So they get this, but they lose 2 plates, 2 waves.
In place for tempo. I don't know. Maybe for
I
the
don't
first
know.
objectives, like the feats.
Oh yeah, they got the first. So now they need
Where
what,
can you
kills?
track feats? You can't, right, on the spectator.
Don't think so yet.
Okay, that's great.
Give it another year, it'll be that'll
Yeah.
be in eventually.
Right games.
Well, you must be able to somehow because they track it on their broadcasts,
You
right?
can
So
see, right?
you can see when they get it. I
yeah,
can
exactly.
just count
Yeah, I
as
think
well,
that's
I guess.
it. I still really don't understand how like exactly it works. It's like three grubs is
One.
one
That's-
full,
Yeah.
and then it's first to 3 kills or for
no,
one?
so it's first the 3 kills for the kill one. It's first the
Yeah.
3 objectives for the objective one, and it's first tower for the tower one. So
Okay, so they got
G-
the tower
yeah,
and they have
1 objective so far versus 1 objective. So
Okay, yeah.
if they get 2 more kills, they would get the boots, or if they get
Yeah.
2 more objectives, they would get the boots.
okay.
Before
How do we
BLG
end up
get
in
2
this
of
lane
those.
assignments?
It
Like
was just
Senna
from-
versus Veigar 1v1.
So after the TP, they swap round.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird for Bin to go. Maybe it's fine.
Yeah, they have to swap. I actually like this from BLG that they don't send Kai'Sa top because they don't win 2v2. They have like item on Senna, so they just put Veigar top instead, who's like full tank right now. Like he's not dying against the dive here, so
And he
now
can just
G2
clear
are
waves
actually like
as well.
stuck as fuck. And Olaf can't do anything on side. He's gonna be like useless. I mean, you have to try to attack this with the G2 with TF ult, I think, but
They've got Rakan just waiting, and also TF doesn't have push in mid anymore because you have 2 people in mid
yeah.
to keep him in. So would you just shift and put Olaf mid, and then TF can have the window to go top, and you try and make a...
Probably you just demon shift, yeah. I don't know. This is just
Something's
like
going on in mid lane as well.
I just don't know. Like if you pause right now, I don't know how G2 can like progress the game here. Like what do they do?
Does Olaf not win on side with these items?
I mean,
Probably
he will
not.
win, but he won't progress, right? Like he will probably get pushed, but I don't know what he does. Like say he walks mid, right? What do they do?
Again, I think the only play is to shift because you can't pressure mid with just Olaf, right? Olaf TF is just useless. Not
Yeah,
useless.
but even if TF hovers top to like threaten a play, there's double cleanse on Rakan Veigar right now, so and Mikhails.
True. Do they need to progress the game? I guess because it's Veigar.
I think so.
and-
I think that
even
they're
though
getting
it's Senna?
fisted late game.
Yeah. Because even though Senna like range will scale, like you still can't get through.
Yeah, there's no way they win. It's not like it's like a doomed game. I just feel like the lane assignments don't allow them to progress. I think they should swap TF into Veigar actually and look to like gank the mid instead.
True. Yeah, I think that would work.
Also,
much
that way
better.
they could like put Rel, like Rel and Trundle could dive Renekton with Olaf, for example. They actually can dive him. Thing is that these plays don't actually like progress the game, even if they kill him here, like doesn't do much. And now it's just
Could
game
just be
over
for the
instead.
dragon, right? Yeah. But these plays, like when you've just got like the very beginning of your stacking rower,
Yeah, yeah. You're like healing.
you're doing no damage to this guy. I don't like. I'm not even sure he needed Poppy. Probably he needed Poppy. Wait, did Olaf faded off?
Yeah,
Okay,
because
yeah,
he ran
fades off
around
here.
the wall.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, they're really useless actually. Champs just don't have enough damage.
Yeah, Renekton is a bit of a beast in this game, I think, on side.
Someone in the chat said Cleaver instead of Stride Breaker on Renekton. No, I don't think so. He just values the like movement speed and wave clear against Olaf.
Because if you get caught in the wrong situation against Olaf as a champ,
Exactly,
right,
yeah.
you have to just get away somehow.
Yeah, he doesn't care about like doing damage this game. He will probably just go like Stride Breaker into like utility. Maybe even like Starax or something like that.
So now they lose mid, and they lost that play bot. Caps gets to push one in top. But also, like, this game is not in isolation as well, right? Like, they've just lost the last two, and that always
Yeah,
makes
it's
things
true.
different.
Yeah, and they don't probably see a way to win as well. It's hard for like viewers to grasp when you're like in the like losing mentality, you know? Like you just don't see as many plays as you would if you're like neutral.
And you second guess the ones you do see, like,
Yeah, you're like, I don't know if this is actually good.
yeah. And then especially as the first TF ult on side just ends up in you both dying.
Yeah.
Okay, but at least they're trying stuff. I think one of the things, I mean, here maybe it's not worth it, but one of the things that was good in previous games is they're still willing to just full commit to one side and just drop the other side completely. Just to get some gold. Like, okay, you trade gold, but like everyone gets gold rather than... So now enemies got Herald as well, so they're going to lose.
I mean, this is good play. Now they're using the grubs. Like, they have to play like this when they have grubs as well. Even if it's against Herald, it's still worth. Because they should get mid-tier 1 as well for this. If this happens.
But they, I think, need to just commit a bit more on this side.
Yeah, I think they were like...
They thought they've got
mid-wave
it.
here.
And they think he's probably saying he's got it, to be honest. But it's because these minions don't actually get into the tower.
Yeah.
Because I think he just takes it there, and I don't think...
Those the range creeps, right? He should kill the wave.
Yeah, he should kill the wave straight away. Because I don't think Bin steps up. Because he wouldn't know that Rella's not there.
Oh, he's fucking scared right now, Ben. Yeah.
So
but
he
now
doesn't...
he's like,
but
oh,
now
there's
it's
3
like,
creeps.
okay. Yeah, now there's enough. He can just take them. And now he sees Rell on mid lane with this ward. And so now he can just know he can stay here. They get it on the next sequence, but it would be so much cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, this is a 5v4 for G2.
I mean,
Can't kill anyone though.
How the fuck does he get out?
Something
Okay,
must have
Veigar
not
TP's
hit.
in. Poppy's not there at all. To be honest, I don't even really like this Veigar TP.
No, it's. I think they should give this tower.
And also, like, he's got... Okay, it doesn't quite hit. But he's got 400 AP. Like, it's not like he's bad at killing towers at this stage.
Yeah, for sure you should stay.
Oh, he does
I
like
got him actually. They should have played like this earlier when they had the wrong lane assignment, I think. Like overload one side, just stop like spreading out across the map. Because they're playing kind of like a pressure comp, right? Like they will never win 5v5, but they have a lot of pressure on their sides. So they need to just send it, I think. Trundle is on Krugs, guys.
Why are they here? Also, like, they killed the wave.
Jesus.
He's already killed the wave. Like, if you want a fog so that he can kill this, sure.
It's the Doran incident, but
But now, just like...
now all the momentum got shifted back.
Yeah. And then they get set up on the Atakan. Okay. I mean, luckily they don't lose much for it. They also lost the wave bot as well because they were making it play top. But yeah, committing numbers when... Like, committing your laners numbers when the jungler's on the other side, it's just a... I mean, this is useless.
They're playing 2v2 solo lanes now.
But wait, why? Is there nowhere better to go with this? Oh.
They should go into the jungle, I think, before they do this. Like, they should take full control over jungle and then push both sides, and then they can do the play. But if you're just laning 2v2 on top, like... Maybe try to save him with ult, but I don't know, I think he's fine.
Worst case, he can ult away, I think.
Yeah. Now you basically used your turn to get nothing, right? So like the control is actually going to be BLG.
And Poppy gets a flank. I got that fucking no damage actually.
Where's Poppy going?
He's just going on a little walkabout. I don't mind this, but like, why then is he showing on the like? If he's going here, so that on this next mid wave, which is the dragon one, he can get a really nice, good position on like a good flank. And Olaf has TP, and we'll just ignore it.
BB are also first, you know, because they saw them.
Yeah, exactly. And also, Olaf has TP as well, so. And then he just walks around.
If he has like ult and flash and he has like a good angle on like Senna, for example, I think it's really good. But I think they just don't have tools there to actually do that.
Yeah, so then they lose the dragon.
Yep.
It's like, who has real cleanse, who has the fake cleanse, and there's the chaos as well.
Let's see if they rush the Atakan here. It's pretty good timing to do it.
They rushed it in game 1 as well. Like,
I think this is smart.
It was like BB all-noted someone here, and they were playing these 2 waves instead, and just dropping bot wave, and then BLG just insta did Ascan, and they just had the time to they just got it for free. So it's like 2 times.
To realize, like when they play like that, and Kai'Sa's forced to cleanse, like they're gonna play for topside after, so they can't base. They have to like dance with them more. If you go back to like when the dragon is dying, like they wouldn't posture like this because they know Poppy is not here. Unless they want to go Atakan, so they should all go mid right now. Yeah. It's so pussy by G2 to run away here to bot, I think. As 5.
Yeah. And cleanses
they
down.
They have to get this mid and then next mid and then base.
Yeah. And as soon as you get the mid first, like if this wave is dead, then you just neutralize anything that BLG can do. Yeah, good point.
Like if Olaf wants to go bot with TP, that's fine, but don't send everyone. I think Atakan is like game-winning objective right now. It's so OP.
Okay. I see so many times people just like giving it up for like really.
I think if you're winning as a team and you get it, it's really OP, and if you're losing, it doesn't do much.
Now we're showing 2 people on one side and pushing up mid really aggressively.
Yeah, that is pretty aggressively, yeah.
So enemy took Atakan, I guess, is the thinking, and so they're going to have to base.
Yeah, they're basing.
Yeah. So he wants to play for this next one. I think you can just take Wolves, though, instead.
Or he just takes it faster instead of, like, walking around.
Yeah, he would have time to take it faster. And it's only because Kai'Sa also can jump in with ult as well.
Right? LXW was not very good there. He would have killed him. I just don't like comps like this in general, where like, because I think in this meta you're always forced to 5v5. So when you have like Olaf, TF, Senna as your like core, I don't know who you're like killing in late game. I feel like it's really hard.
But also, even I think if you to swap the, obviously you can't because Fearless, but like if you had Xin instead of Trundle or something like that,
Yeah, so you have more
That'd make
team
it
fight
better.
presence for sure.
Yeah, like a stronger bruiser to play with the center. Like if you have doubled,
Or like a Darwin or something.
Yeah, they kept. We were looking because we were looking at center comps before, and what G2 used to run with it was like Wukong and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I think makes a lot more sense. It was like Wukong, Camille, and Oriana or something with Senna. I think that makes a lot more sense than. I don't mind the idea of like a sort of Enchanter AD and Olaf, but when it's then TF and Trundle as your other two.
Yeah, it's true. Someone needs to do something.
Yeah.
Comp.
Okay.
Hans is no Samsa.
But like G2 are playing like posturing for this, right? Like if we jump to their vision.
They saw them, yeah. They
Yeah,
know
so
that they're around.
TF is coming down now. They see Bin top. They know they're around. They're literally playing for this. Like they want this to
They
happen.
didn't know there was a ward there.
Yeah.
Well, they still overextended, but yeah. Who dropped that ward actually? Didn't look like it was warded from their POV.
Yeah.
They must have already dropped it, no? Did Rakan go there
No.
fast and drop it? Yeah, he did.
Drops it
Oh,
first.
he was just the one. He was just before them, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now he should know with the pink ward. Because he
You've
saw
seen
them just
that
got
they
placed.
have been warded, yeah.
Yeah,
And Skewmon does have sweeper.
yeah.
He should just be sweeping this.
Also,
Also,
I
don't
think that they're trapping them, but it's vice
Yeah.
versa.
And I don't like how like On just gets like a mega flank here somehow, even though we should know. Again, actually, he just
Yeah.
needs to be sweeping. He has sweep up. We know that they warded this area.
Now
'Cause-
they should also be scared when they don't see Rakan here.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's too late now, but still. Oh, it's a
So
hard.
they just come
hard
into
game
that,
for Rel.
and now,
Oi, oi, oi.
now they're all dead. It's a hard game. It's a hard game for everyone when it gets like this.
And then they rage fight into them, I guess, 3v5. Sure.
Now they just must feel so desperate.
Yeah, probably.
The TF is just. I mean,
Nash is gone.
Renekton versus these like low damage top half or low damage comp is just like an absolute monster.
Yeah, you see he wants Starex too. I think it's smart. Like he just goes like tank utility and it's free win. Like basically if you're playing into like hard or like low DPS, like low frontline killing comp and you go tanky, I think it's like free win as well. Like Veigar is what, like 3k health. Rakan is going Mikhail's first item. They're just going full like defense.
Yeah, and they have 3 people who have often been having cleanse as well against the TF as well. Like, what's this one? So, it's Rakan Veigar top. They're playing on the dragon. But again, they get the mid wave. Like, obviously they've got Baron and they're really ahead, but still. They get mid wave and then they just kill. Like, as soon as the top wave dies, he just insta TPs on the other side.
Don't know what G2 actually is trying to do there though. Like what do they want to do on top?
They just hope
Take
he.
the tower?
Or hope he overextends or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, I just hope that they make a mistake.
But surely it's better to like look for a 5v5 on bot and hope for best.
You're right. It's really fucking hard to get picks on anyone. Really.
Yeah, I mean this is like the Los Ratones example. Like you kill the Veigar there. Say he's inting, right? He's playing horribly. He dies, and you lose mid tier 2 and bot tier 2. Is it worth? No. Veigar spawns TP's top, and then they just keep pushing, right? So it's like you're actually not getting much with that look, anyways.
Yeah. True.
Oh my god, Kai'Sa is cocky. Holy.
He's got this Sonya's arm guard thing. And Bobby's just walking up on everybody. The ult gets interrupted, and he still just just flashes and gets away. And then just walks up again and just walks away. That's brutal.
There's just no hope,
Yeah,
I
it's just
think.
doomed. Yeah, 10k gold lead and also the
And outscaled.
yeah, no one's killing anyone.
I think Senna right now could hit like Renekton for 40 seconds and still not kill him.
It's just
a wrap.
Cool. I think I'm actually gonna call it there because I'm much more tired than I thought. Thanks for coming for the end.
I'm tired too. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw. I'll make a post about it. But next tomorrow's scrims are a little bit later, so they're starting.
Yeah, I
at
saw they were a bit
17.
later.
Yeah. Cool.
Is it for this week only or next week as well?
It's next week as well, and then from the 12th, 13th, then MSI is done, and we'll go back to like normal schedule.
Okay, I guess we don't have a mega lot of scrims anyways, so...
No, it's just 6 before in the next 2 weeks.
Do we play 5 games still or less games because it's later?
I think they said we'll play as many as we can. I think that's the way they phrased it.
Yeah, I guess depends.
I mean, it
team
still
probably
says...
will also not want to do it.
It says 3+3, but that is so ambitious. Like 3 and then reset fearless and then 3. That's not happening.
Oh no,
that's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to for this first like couple of weeks, like I just want us to just play some games together. Like it's really like as light as that, and especially given yesterday,
just get
like
some reps.
Yeah, get some reps in and just enjoy it as well. Like just get used to playing with each other. Cool. All right. Well, I will see you tomorrow then.
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
Bye, Tom.
See you, man.
Peace.
Cool. Okay, good. So, first review of the new split done. Starting to get back into the habit again of looking at the game, seeing what's sort of changed. It's kind of the same, to be honest, so far. But coming into our split, it will be different because there's going to be, I guess, a new season and all that kind of stuff after MSI, right? That's what they do now. Cool. So, that was it. There'll be more MSI review on Thursday, but just like I said to Eric just then, we have scrims tomorrow, our first scrims, starting from 17. So we're going to do a brief pre-scrim to talk about a few things, probably. But to be honest, actually, maybe not even, because I don't really have anything that I want to go through with them. We're just going to keep it light. We're going to keep it general. We're just going to play, chat, enjoy it, start to ask questions. Cool.